Episode 56 years old 10/03/2024. Amsterdam eyeing ban on wood burning to improve air quality. In episode 56 years old 1 United States 2 California 3 Massachusetts 4 Michigan 5 Minnesota 6 Nevada 7 New Hampshire 8 North Carolina 9 Ohio 10 Oregon 11 Vermont 12 Wyoming 13 United Kingdom 14 The Netherlands Amsterdam eyeing ban on wood burning to improve air quality. 15 Portugal 16 Europe 17 China 18 India 19 PM 2.5 and Human Health. Main content. 1 The United States. RAWSEP View. In the United States, the suit of Republicans in Congress asking the Environmental Protection Agency to walk back EPA's safe limits of PM 2.5 pollution lowered in April 2024. The EPA responded on August 20, 2024, and now in October 2024, the Republicans again pressed their case for choosing to lower industry costs for safety measures above preventing adverse human health effects and more early deaths if PM 2.5 safe limits are not lowered, as said in April 2024, from 12 micrograms per cubic meter annually down to 9 micrograms per cubic meter annually. Wood burning is 90% PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. From the article. 1A United States. EPA can't justify particulate matter rule. DC Circuit told. Law 360. Section 109 of the statute only allows the agency to set national ambient air quality standards, or NAAQS, for PM 2.5 and other air pollutants in Law 360 October 1, 2024. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. August 20, 2024. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency is defending its decision to ratchet down a fine particulate matter air pollution standard, telling the D.C. Circuit that states and industry groups challenging it aren't seriously questioning the scientific support for the change and misread the Clean Air Act to argue that the agency overstepped. United States. RAWSEP View. In 1B, 1C, and 1D, heat pumps and their rebates are debated in 3 articles. 2 of the article tout the rebates, and 1 article emphasizes the initial high cost of heat pumps without rebates. The IRA rebates are based on a sliding income scale, with rebates for the highest amount going to households with 80% of median income receiving the full up to $8,000 rebate. 1E is an article about an innovative heat pump. 1B United States. The government wants to give you $10,000 for this money-saving HVAC tech. Here's how to get it. The cool down. The government is giving away up to $10,000 in tax credits and rebates to install heat pumps. Here's how to qualify. 1C United States. High cost, slow, widespread use of heat pumps. Mirage News. The high cost of installing heat pumps for home heating could slow down people widely adopting the technology and leave government targets missed. 1D United States. Massive home renovation rebates are now available to millions of Americans from these states. The cool down. The IRA offers sizable rebates for a wide range of energy-efficient home improvements, including heat pumps for heating and cooling water heaters. 1E United States. Panasonic Innova developing PV-compatible multi-source heat pump combined with PCM. PV Magazine. The novel heat pump concept should enable ready-to-use energy storage even in already existing installations. It features capabilities that easily. 2 California. RAWSEP View. A Bureau of Land Management proposal to use public lands for solar arrays might be a helpful solution to providing enough solar energy to the United States. Another report about the negative effects on tree carbon sequestration from PM 2.5, either clogging the pores of trees or PM 2.5 slowing photosynthesis, which performs CO2 carbon sequestration. Trees do not absorb PM 2.5 itself, so do not sequester any carbon contained in PM 2.5, and this article is called Tree Jeopardy. It could also be called Human Health Jeopardy. Another article deals with the reasons you don't want a wood-burning fireplace. From the articles. 2A California. Inside Climate News. BLM Plan for solar on public lands sparks enthusiasm and misgivings in different corners of the West. A view of utility-scale solar panels on public land in the California desert. 2B California Central Valley. PM 2.5 and Tree Jeopardy. Megafire smoke exposure jeopardizes tree carbohydrate reserves and yield. Nature Plants. Number of smoke days where PM 2.5 exceeded 35 GM-3 experienced by counties in the Central Valley during the wildfire seasons from 2018 to 2C California Lime Ridge. Fire at Lime Ridge open space remains under investigation. MSN 7 reasons why you don't want a wood-burning fireplace. 3 Massachusetts. RAWSEP View. 1 article deals with air quality monitors coming to Massachusetts, and another article deals with the good news that heat pumps are coming to Massachusetts. From the articles. 3A Massachusetts. Air quality monitors coming to central Massachusetts, but are they going to the right places? Worcester Telegram. Wood smoke. Diesel exhaust and wood smoke are a concern in the central area of Massachusetts, said Sean Dunn, Deputy Division Director of the 3B Massachusetts. More good news for heat pumps in Massachusetts as regulators order National Grid to Energy Central. Heat pump inefficient electric resistance heat, or even a pool heater. Environmental activists advocates for low-income households solar. 4 Michigan. RAWSEP View. 1 article deals with efforts to put EV chargers in Ford customers' homes. Another article deals with restarting a Michigan nuclear power plant. RAWSEP View. Nuclear power is not a clean energy source when there are nuclear accidents, or when nuclear power plants are held hostage as pawns in wartime, as is being done by Russia and Ukraine. Human beings are fallible enough, and humans have made enough mistakes in handling nuclear power that this power source should remain retired, and truly clean energy sources should be turned to instead of nuclear power. From the articles. 4A Michigan. Inside Climate News. Ford targets EV fence sitters with offer of free home charger and installation. Ford has launched a new initiative to cover the cost of putting EV charging systems in customers' homes. The automaker is offering a $1,310 charger plus the cost of installation. Customers would need to cover the costs of upgrading their electrical panel if that's needed. 4B Michigan. Inside Climate News. U.S. approves aid to restart Michigan nuclear plant. The federal government has finalized a $1.52 billion loan guarantee to help Holtec International reopen the Palisades nuclear plant in Michigan. Two rural electricity providers that plan to buy electricity from the reactor would also receive $1.3 billion in federal grants. The 800-megawatt Palisades plant shut down in 2022, and it would be the first nuclear facility in the country to close and then reopen. 5 Minnesota Minneapolis. RAWSEP View. Banning of wood-burning stoves is thankfully happening in Minnesota under these critical wood-burning wildfire air pollution conditions. From the article, burning discouraged across 29 counties on Wednesday due to near-critical fire conditions. KSTP. The ban also includes charcoal grills and wood-burning stoves. However, gas and propane cook stoves are still allowed. September marked the driest. 6 Nevada. Why isn't the IRA more of a political winner for Democrats? RAWSEP View. See a more in-depth view of this lack of discussion of the benefits of the IRA, now just being realized in practical projects in Ohio. This news clip touches on the fact that this lack of discussion is also happening in Nevada. Inside Climate News. Why isn't the IRA more of a political winner for Democrats? The example of Nevada shows that political races outside Ohio in 2024 show little or no political gains for candidates who supported the Inflation Reduction Act IRA and its projects. 7 New Hampshire. RAWSEP View. In two-article heat pumps are touted. 7A New Hampshire. A money-saving journey to electrification. New Hampshire Bulletin. Those have proven important as technologies like heat pumps have rapidly changed the market for heating and air conditioning. Heat pump water heater. 7B New Hampshire Monadnock. Avari wins federal grant for heat pump research. Monadnock Ledger. Transcript. Heat pumps that are low cost for industries and consumers. Base said traditional heat pump. 8. North Carolina Spruce Pine. Inside Climate News. A tiny town slammed by Helene could massively disrupt the solar industry. Hurricane Helene has stopped production at North Carolina factories that are some of the only sources of high-purity quartz used to make computer chips and solar panels. The factories are in Spruce Pine, North Carolina, where heavy rainfall has led to power outages and flooding. Spruce Pine is one of the sources of high-purity quartz, which is large and of the highest quality. 9 Ohio. Inside Climate News newsletter. The landmark climate law is an economic boon, but not an electoral one, at least not yet. October 3, 2024. RAWSEP View. Ohio, Dover, Jeffersonville, and Pataskala manufacturing plants are receiving Inflation Reduction Act IRA project money. From the article Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Why isn't the IRA more of a political winner for Democrats? Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio, who supported the IRA law, are getting little political benefit. In the U.S. Senate race in Ohio between Democrat Sherrod Brown, the incumbent, and a Republican, there is the example of Jeffersonville, Ohio. The rural village is about to be transformed by the opening of a $3.5 billion battery manufacturing plant operated by Honda and LG, which brings with it a projected 2,200 jobs. Honda was in discussions about opening a battery plant before the IRA became law, even though the specific site was announced 2 months after the signing. State and local officials also played roles in attracting Honda to Jeffersonville. Federal officials like Sherrod Brown cannot claim full credit. Local officials welcome the investment. The Jeffersonville plant won't begin production until next year. The IRA passed the Senate in 2022 by one vote with support from every Democrat, including Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio, and opposition from every Republican. The law provides tax credits to build factories that make renewable energy or electric vehicle components. The Jeffersonville plant will receive a credit based on its level of production at $10 per kilowatt-hour of storage capacity. Honda has said the plant will have a maximum annual capacity of 40 gigawatt-hours of batteries for a credit of $400 million per year until 2030 phase-out. Many Ohio manufacturers stand to receive aid from the IRA. Others include Illuminate USA, a solar panel manufacturer in Pataskala with 1,000 employees, and Schaeffler, a vehicle parts manufacturer in Dover with 650 employees. In all, companies have announced 18 IRA-linked projects in Ohio with $7.1 billion in private spending and 4,854 jobs. The Honda LG plant will receive more than half the dollars and generate nearly half the jobs. Which Ohio counties have the greatest potential to benefit from clean technology investment under the IRA? Cuyahoga County, which includes Cleveland, ranks in the top 1% of counties that could profit from the IRA nationwide, and another 14 Ohio counties are in the top 5%. The Republican opposition will attempt to claw back funding or cut the IRA programs. Some partisan media outlets that aren't eager to cover IRA projects that might reflect positively on Democrats. Some Republicans claim federal policies supported by Democrats would push gasoline vehicles out of the market and take away options from consumers. Ohio voters care about the economy, seem more concerned with costs of food and housing. Democratic candidates not talking enough about the IRA results. Democrats sometimes focus on the next challenges and do not spend enough time celebrating the IRA progress. The IRA is the largest climate and carbon-free energy law in the history of the world. Even if media outlets and candidates talk little about it, this doesn't diminish its importance. 10 Oregon. RAWSEP View. In these 3 articles, first, Oregon postpones some wind power development. Second, Oregon receives money for home retrofits that are energy efficient, and it is announced that Oregon may not receive heat pump rebates until late 2025. 10A Oregon. Inside Climate News. BOEM postpones first Oregon offshore wind auction due to lack of interest. The Bureau of Ocean Energy Management has postponed an auction of 2 wind energy leases off of Oregon due to lack of interest from bidders. The auction would have been the first of its kind off the coast of Oregon. This is the second time the Bureau canceled an auction due to lack of interest following similar actions this summer with Gulf of Mexico leases. Bidders may be skittish about high interest rates and the risks of building projects in regions that don't already have offshore wind. 10B Oregon. Oregon to receive $113 million in federal funds for energy efficiency home retrofits. OPB. Oregon Public Broadcasting. However, they are not allowed to receive rebates from both programs for the same measure, she said. So if I selected a heat pump water heater. 10C Oregon. Oregonians won't see $113 million in promised clean energy rebates until late 2025 or 2026. Oregon Live. The Oregon Department of Energy says it has finally received $113 million from the federal government for long-awaited rebates for heat pumps, consumer heat pumps. The exterior heat pump unit stands outside a northwest Portland home. 11 Vermont. Inside climate news. Digging deep to understand rural opposition to solar power. An array of solar panels is seen near a dairy farm in St. George, Vermont. 12 Wyoming. RAWSEP View. In these two articles, it is first pointed out that Wyoming lags in clean energy jobs as next to last to Alaska. The next article mentions the drawback of wood burning, not for the air pollution it creates, but for the pests that firewood carries. From the articles. 12A Wyoming. Inside climate news. Wyoming lags in clean energy jobs according to new report. One of the largest onshore wind farms in the country is being developed in south-central Wyoming, but the state still has the second fewest clean energy jobs behind only Alaska. 12B Wyoming Jackson. Weed and Pest shares best practices for firewood gathering usage. RAWSEP View. Do not be a pest, and do not shunt PM 2.5 air pollution to your near neighbors, as well as your family. Therefore, do not burn wood. There are clean and cheaper alternatives for home heating in 2024. Heat pumps that work down to 40 degrees below zero, run on electricity and double as air conditioners and lower monthly electricity bills immediately, are available with heat pump rebates of up to $8,000 based on a sliding income scale. The obligatory misinformative word cozy is applied here to satisfy wood dealers in Wyoming ready to scrape the last buck from consumers, even if disgusting beetlebug ash needs to be scraped off Wyomingites' teeth in the process. Heat-treated wood does nothing to protect near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners from the PM 2.5 emissions that enter the near neighbors' yards and sicken the near neighbors. The concern expressed here is for the trees, not human beings. Pest-infested trees die anyway when they are cut down. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates of 501c3 nonprofit organization. Buckrail, Jackson, Wyoming. Teton County Weed and Pest District TCWP emphasizes the importance of keeping firewood local in an effort to curb the spread of invasive species and diseases which can travel via transported wood. 50 miles is too far to transport wood, and 10 miles or less is best. Invasive species including mountain pine beetle and spruce beetle can hitch a ride on a bundle of firewood. Since the early 1990s, these native beetles have caused tree mortality over millions of acres of federal, state, and private forests in Wyoming, according to Don't Move Firewood, a resource recommended by TCWP. Emerald ash borer is another pest of primary concern in Wyoming, and firewood should not be brought from out of state since it could introduce the emerald ash borer. Also, many visitors who come to Wyoming live in areas under quarantine for pests like spongy moth and Asian longhorn beetle. It is illegal to move uncertified firewood into Wyoming from areas infested with these pests. Point 13 The United Kingdom. RAWSEP View. In these four articles, first it is announced that the government has set aside money for heat pump grants. The UK is phasing out coal power, fines and criminal records are warned for some wood burning, and in Scotland heat pumps are touted, and it is announced that sales are up a third over last year. 13A United Kingdom. Government boosts heat pump grant scheme annual budget by £50 million business green. However, the budget for the current financial year remained at £150 million, and with demand for heat pumps growing fast, there have been growing concerns. 13B United Kingdom. Inside climate news. The UK became the first G7 country to phase out coal power. The United Kingdom's last coal-fired power plant, Ratcliffe-on-Soar in Nottinghamshire, has closed, ending a 142-year era of coal-fired electricity in the country. 13C United Kingdom. England. Warning over log burners as 2024 rules in England could land users with fine or criminal record. Derby Telegraph. Under new UK rules, all newly manufactured wood-burning stoves, multi-fuel stoves, and fireplaces must meet stringent new guidelines known as eco-design. 13D United Kingdom. Scotland. Scotland could be a heat pump hotspot like Norway. Here's how. The Herald. Scotland is warming to the heat pump. Sales are improving with 5,700 units put in this year so far, up a third on the same period last year. 14 The Netherlands. Amsterdam eyeing ban on wood burning to improve air quality. On October 21st, Amsterdam will present various measures to discourage wood burning and thus reduce health damage and pollution. These range from subsidies for removing flues and experiments with electric barbecue areas to a ban on wood fireplaces in new homes from 2027.nl Times. Amsterdam is investigating various options to combat air pollution caused by wood smoke, including a possible ban on wood-burning fireplaces. Burning wood for 2 hours releases as much particulate matter. On October 21st, Amsterdam will present various measures to discourage wood burning and thus reduce health damage and pollution. These range from subsidies for removing flues and experiments with electric barbecue areas to a ban on wood fireplaces in new homes from 2027. From the article. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates of 501c3 nonprofit organization. Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. Amsterdam eyeing ban on wood burning to improve air quality. Amsterdam is investigating various options to combat air pollution caused by wood smoke, including a possible ban on wood-burning fireplaces. The city wants to protect locals from the health risks of breathing wood smoke and will publish its proposals for achieving this later this month so that locals can weigh in. I think it is irresponsible not to do anything about it, said an Amsterdam alderman dealing with air quality. According to the city, 20% of all soot particles in the air come from wood burning, making it the second largest source of soot pollution in Amsterdam after industrial companies. Wood smoke contains a lot of particulate matter and harmful substances that can cause or worsen lung diseases like COPD and asthma. The city receives reports of people struggling to breathe in their own homes because the neighbor has the fireplace going, the alderman said. The alderman thinks people don't realize how polluting even one fire in the wood stove can be. Burning wood for 2 hours releases as much particulate matter into the air as a car driving from Amsterdam to Milan. On October 21st, Amsterdam will present various measures to discourage wood burning and thus reduce health damage and pollution. These range from subsidies for removing flues and experiments with electric barbecue areas to a ban on wood fireplaces in new homes from 2027. The city is also investigating banning wood-burning fireplaces altogether. It could also follow Amersfoort's example and only allow wood burning when the weather conditions allow for smoke to dissipate quickly. A conversation starts by emphasizing how extremely harmful wood smoke is. In the meantime, we are looking at whether more can be done by using alternatives. If the experiment with power connections for electric barbecues is a success, we might designate more places where it is allowed. 15 Portugal. Efficiency launches web-based simulator providing PV system heat pump prices savings. PV Magazine. Portugal-based Efficiency, a developer of sales software for solar PV and heat pump solution providers, has launched a new web-based simulator. 16 Europe. EU offers to delay curbs on forest products after an outcry from trade partners. The Associated Press AP. October 2nd, 2024. RAWSEP View. The key excerpt is that deforestation is the second biggest source of carbon emissions after fossil fuels. RAWSEP is led to believe that deforestation carbon source figure is higher in reality since the actual wood-burning emissions from deforestation, including actually burning the tree wood that is cut down, are not counted as emissions on paper when calculating if each country in the world is meeting its own climate goals of reducing polluting emissions. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Brussels, AP. The European Union on Wednesday offered to delay by a year or more the introduction of new rules that would outlaw the sale of products that degrade forests following an outcry from several governments claiming that it will damage trade and hurt small farmers. The EU's executive branch, the European Commission, said it would delay the rules scheduled to start by the end of 2024 until December 30th, 2025 for large companies, and until June 30th, 2026 for small companies. The deforestation regulation applies to things like cocoa, coffee, soy, cattle, palm oil, rubber, wood, and products made from them. Supporters insist that it will help save forests on a global scale. Deforestation is the second biggest source of carbon emissions after fossil fuels. Related stories. Countries, businesses, and trade officials urge EU to rethink deforestation regulation. A French member of the European Commission resigns and criticizes President von der Leyen. Brazil, Indonesia, and the Ivory Coast fear the regulation could act as a trade barrier, hit small farmers, and disrupt supply chains. Austrian and German governments have also sought to water the regulation down or delay its introduction. Greenpeace noted that an area of forest about the size of Portugal, 10 million hectares, is cut down worldwide each year. Ursula von der Leyen might as well have wielded the chainsaw herself. People in Europe don't want deforestation products on their supermarket shelves for another 12 months, Greenpeace's EU Forest Policy Director said. 17 China. PM 2.5 and schizophrenia. Ambient air pollution and hospitalizations for schizophrenia in China. JAMA Network. Exposure daily absolute concentrations of fine particulate matter PM 2.5, inhalable particulate matter PM 10, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide. 18 India. Government appoints flying squad to check stubble burning in Punjab, Haryana to control Delhi air pollution. The New Indian Express. During the southwest monsoon, the winds blow away the pollutant particles, especially PM 2.5. In the post-monsoon season, October to December. 19 PM 2.5 and skin aging. Best and worst countries for environmental skin aging health news. Using the above criteria, we selected 6 metrics: overall solar and ultraviolet UV radiation level, particulate matter PM 2.5, ozone O3.